What's up, everybody? Happy Tuesday, and welcome to Black Boy Joy Conversations. I am your host, Ryan Jones, and I'm excited tonight about tonight's show. We've got a special show lineup. Every show is special. I got a special guest with me tonight. Yesterday's my birthday, so we're celebrating my birthday along with my other brother's birthday. So this week is going to be very different and special. I'm here in Atlanta, Georgia. And as you all know, Black Boy Joy Conversations is about inspiring, uplifting, empowering the story or narrative of your Black Boy Joy, your magic. And so we've got some people on live already commenting. Hey, Coco. Hey, Tamora. What's up, brother? My brother in love is there in Dallas. I'm going to, my guest is with me now, one of my new brothers, Morris. Hey, Morris.
Hi, everyone. How are you guys? It's an honor to be in this space and share this energy with you.
Thank you so much.
I'm so excited for what is about to happen.
Yeah.
It's going to be dope.
I'm excited. So I've got, you guys that know me know that I have some brothers. Oh, thank you, Coco, that are special to me. We have been through the thick and thin. We can talk about some other stuff in a minute in our conversations, but how special they are to me tonight. So they're here with me. We're going to go by the oldest to the youngest. Hey, Mikey.
What's up, man?
Now, tonight is really special. We got Mikey here.
Yeah,
Mikey Alexander, Major. I'll not to call him by his nickname. Major's with us. Next up, DT, Daryl Powell. What's up, Daryl?
How you doing?
How you doing? And the next, I'm after Daryl. Children. Hey. Welcome. Oh, sorry. And the baby.
There he is.
The baby. Everybody knows the baby. Momo. Maurice Downing.
What's up, everybody?
What's up, y'all?
We're good.
Nothing much.
Yeah.
Happy birthday. Happy birthday to you.
Happy
to celebrate you.
Yes.
Thank you. I'm excited to have you guys in my life. Again, like I said, I'm here in Atlanta. So I've got one of my other new brothers, Morris, is going to sit in the conversation with us. We've got Daniel, one of my best friends, that's here that will probably join us. But tonight is about celebrating Black Boy Joy, and no other way I like to celebrate Black Boy Joy I would love to do it with my brothers. And you guys mean the world to me. We have been through thick and thin, I think, a lot of thin, lean times. And so I just wanted to share some of our conversations that we talk about. And so I'll start it off with my initial question to everybody is, what comes to mind when you think about Black Boy Joy? Thank you, Gary. Happy birthday to you too. What comes to mind when you think about Black Boy Joy, or when you hear the hashtag Black Boy Joy?
Michael, we'll start with you since you're the oldest.
Huh?
Major.
Come on, man. All right. I'll drink to that. Right. See you. Jeez.
Let's go, Mikey.
What I
Go ahead.
All right. What I think. When I think of Black Boy Joy, I think about arriving to a state or a place of personal happiness, or being content with the good that's going on. Not saying that there isn't any bad, but focusing more so on the good, and just coming to a state of being in that place, in a place that's good for you.
What about you, Mo?
Me?
Yeah.
I think, first of all, Black Boy Joy, and I guess maybe it's the educator in me, is akin to Black Girl Magic. So it's kind of like the Black Girl Magic is for females, Black Boy Joy is for males. But I think they both speak to the same thing, which is a honing or zoning in on Black excellence, on finding your best and truest self and bringing that to light, and really just giving the world not just you, but all of you. in a way that, you know, benefits others and can really bless the world.
Okay. Thank you, educator.
I learned that from, I got it from Daryl.
Oh, you got it from Daryl? Oh, well, Daryl, you're up next.
All right, when I think of O'Hara, Black Boy Joy, actually to piggyback off of actually both Mike and Maurice, what comes to mind is like peace. These are words, freedom, definitely like walking in one's truth. So those are three of the first of the things that pretty much kind of come to mind when I think of that.
Okay. I'm gonna turn to Morris since he's sitting next to me. Morris, what do you identify with, or how do you what words would you use to describe Black Boy Joy to you when it comes to mind?
Black Boy Joy. I like the fact that they started with black. So there's no undenying who my audience is. So black. I appreciate that. Boy, right? And now we know who the subject is or what this is all about. So Black Boy. So automatically that makes me smile.
Yeah.
Because I resonate with being a Black boy. So that you're calling me by name because you don't know my name. Now being that I'm a church queen, depending on what circle you put me in. You know, I gotta go. This joy that I have, the world didn't give it to me. So if I am Black Boy Joy, I am not given, like the world didn't give it to me, and I was given by God. And so for me, it's a connotation of it makes my ego get bigger when I hear Black Boy Joy. It's not something that is; it's something I am.
Okay.
And so, like I wear it, if you will.
You wear it. Okay.
Yeah.
Tilden.
Everyone has already said it so well. I think if I could piggyback, the often confusion between Black Boy Joy is often confused with Black Boy Happiness. And I believe Black Boy Happiness has everything to do with some outward expression. But Black Boy Joy, when you kind of dig a little bit deeper into the joy aspect of it, joy endures hardship and trials and connects with the meaning of your purpose. And I think there's a lot of things that will cause our happiness maybe to tank, but through it all, in the middle or in the center of it all, we remain joyful because it becomes a place in which our soul connects to our purpose. And so as we relate that back to Black Boy, there's a lot of things that life, socially, a lot of elements that will cause us not to be happy. We have learned as a group of Black men to remain joyful. A lot of us can experience certain things of racial inequality and still go to work with a smile on our face because it's the thing that connects our joy to our purpose. There's a lot of things that we can see on TV day in, day out that more so this year we see a little bit more of it or exposure to it rather than we've ever seen it before. But this has been our reality the whole time. And so I think while treading through some level of PTSD we all may often struggle from by being Black and being boy, there's a centering that comes with us that allows us to maintain joy.
Okay. I appreciate all of you guys' responses, and I think that's a beautiful thing. It all has that same context, I think, which is, one is it's about how you feel about yourself, and that is not regulated to any event or those experiences in life. It's just finding yourself and grounding yourself in. I say it's celebrating unapologetically who you are, and I find like. Maurice, when you mentioned the Black Girl Magic being Black Boy Joy being akin to Black Boy Magic, I lean into that because I think Black Boy, having Black Boy Joy is our strength. Having your joy is your strength, and we are gifted as Black men to walk the face of the earth and go through life's circumstances and traumas and whatever happened, and to just remain in your place of joy. Just remain who you are. And so celebrating that, celebrating your strength. You know that we have so many different it's gonna drive me nuts. So many different things happening in our lives. Remaining your joy, remaining who you are. So for me, I also think about my tribe. I think about grounding myself and centering who I am. Like my tribe is a part of my Black Boy Joy. How my joy shows up is also through my tribe. Like I said, you got my brothers. You're part of my tribe, and so you feed off of that. Like the Bible talks about iron sharpening iron. So I wanted to hit on that, but I also want to kind of talk about what do you guys, and we're going to get less formal in a few minutes, but I want to ask this next question and then just enjoy ourselves. How do you feel like your Black Boy Joy shows up? How does it show up for you?
I think it shows, well, it depends on who you are. If you're a multifaceted person, if you operate in several different lanes, it could show up in a multitude of different ways or a myriad of different ways. So Daryl and I are both educators, but we are both musicians as well. So sometimes I know for me, the stress of my job can come through a vehicle of me having the outlet of being a vocalist that can in turn express my joy of who I am to others. Does that make sense? So I think it just depends on kind of where you are in the moment, or at least for me.
Okay. So singing and just being creative and just being.
Yeah, creative is my personal love language, literally.
Okay.
Yeah, I think for me, it shows up in my life in many different things, but I think for the most part, I'm very intentional about it showing up in the workplace and when I'm working with kids, because I think that it's extremely powerful for me to share my story because it all stems from my story, right?
Mm-hmm.
And in working with kids and teenagers, I found that when I'm open and very transparent with my students about my story and where I've come from, that it's definitely have helped them tremendously and kind of change their whole trajectory in their entire life, which I've seen before my eyes, especially since working in high school. Didn't really see it much in middle school, but definitely in high school, I've seen that. So I would say in my work every day, that's where primarily kind of lives the most.
Shine a light at work.
I mean, I'll piggyback on that just for a second. I think with the climate that we're living in, there's nothing like seeing the literal fruit of your labor.
Mm-hmm.
And I think we are in a very pivotal place in life right now that we can literally slow things down. One of my teachers that serve on the team with me, she said, this pandemic may be the worst thing since sliced bread to some people, but the fact that we're able as educators to literally slow it down and literally break it down and literally, make sure our kids are being educated, I think it's the difference between good and great.
Okay.
So to Daryl's point, like when you literally get to see the return on your investment, that's a joy that can't be explained.
Yeah.
Okay. So
I think it's part of how we were created. Joy is because it's a matter of the soul. Joy becomes a reservoir, and we get gratification when we give of that reservoir. And it's a mirror. This is the preacher in me, but it becomes the mirror effect of us between the creator and the creation. God, all powerful, was not complete until he was able to breathe of his own mouth into that breath of life into man. And to receive it back in worship is when he gets joy. And that is the element of which is in place in all of us, and it's something that God has given us, is the purpose of which makes us us. And we feel fulfilled when we give it away and like Marie said, see the fruits of that labor come back to us.
Okay. Return on your investment.
Absolutely.
Major. Mike.
It's that Metro
I would
PCS.
definitely piggyback off of.
Ooh.
All right, Michael join us back in a second. Maurice had to break the ice for us. Thank you, Maurice.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Your house is so lovely.
That phone.
Say it again.
Your house is so lovely, so decor.
The Lord is kind to us. He is kind.
Everyone can't have a apartment in the sky.
Right, listen.
Yes, you can.
Not in DC. You can't.
Not with these prices.
Not at these prices.
You back? You got that track phone fixed?
I don't know what happened. Oh yeah, man.
Boost Mobile.
That Boost Mobile will get you every time.
I'm excited that Mike is here. Y'all know Mike goes to bed at 7:00.
Oh.
So the fact that
I already got my Caroso already.
We're losing. We lost him.
Y'all gonna listen to me. I told you.
y'all not gonna do that. So how does your Black Boy Joy show up?
These past few, I had a whole answer prior to the return of investment, and I think I'm not a teacher, but I am of peer support. I've been HIV positive for 14 years, and I have my own nonprofit where I assist people getting into services, getting re-engaged. My Black Boy Joy shows up when I see 3 people post, one who lives in Canada, one who lives in North Augusta, and another one in Canada, when they say, hey, I'm undetectable. And so, and they'll hit me up and say, oh, listen, I just took my pill. and they're excited to be back.
Yeah.
My whole Black Boy Joy was just going to be able to, that the fact that I'm alive to share that story. But it really shows up, not going to be telling the story, but I like the transparency. I'm sharing my story with what is really the summation of what the joy should be.
Okay.
Because I'm somebody else's joy, and they are my joy.
Okay.
And so as long as I have that opportunity, it's like joy willing. It's like it keeps going. And so I'm looking forward to more of seeing it.
Okay.
I think I really understood where I was with it not too long ago. So to understand that I've created some kind of joy, it's like, oh, it's working now. Yeah.
So the return on your investment in your work and being who you are. So I want to take a pause for cause and kind of back up and talk about what you guys do. We lost Mike again. He gonna keep coming in and out. That's fine.
He gonna have to call in.
You can't join in. You got to call in.
This is a Black Boy Church of God in Christ.
So I want to back up and talk about what you guys do to help add some a little color to this. We'll give him a second, just to make sure his signal's good before we bring him back. But Maurice, you are an educator and a creative design person. That this is the one. Y'all always ask me about my logo. This is the man that does it. Mo Designs. We'll plug him a little bit later. But you do education. You're creative. You're graphic, and you also are a recording artist. I think you got a couple of awards, don't you?
So yeah, we will see on October the 1st if I won for sure. But I am up for 2 awards right now for the Key of Gospel Awards out of Dallas. But I just found out that I'm also up for another award that I can't mention just yet. But yeah, the Lord is kind.
Yeah.
He is kind.
Speaking of these awards, come on, awards. Recording artist, and then we've got Daryl, who is soon to be Dr. Daryl, but
put some respect on his.
Right. Preacher, educator, and you are also a singer as well. You didn't even have a project out, like it's underground that it's
underground.
Yeah. And so you're in Washington, D.C., impacting lives, and Tilden is everything. Tilden does the keys. He's the project manager. Him and Maurice are the baby, but Tilden acts like the oldest.
I do that.
And you are a father, in which we are appreciative of you bringing those two beautiful boys into our lives and allowing us to call them nephews. But you are a father, and like Michael, that has not come back yet. I guess he just did. Good night. Father,
it's that AOL dial-up.
Father and designer, creative, and you guys, your joy shows up in your work and your return on your investment. So how do you, as a father, Tilden, inspire your Black boys to have joy? How do you?
Well, you said the word, which is simply to inspire. They should see some pivotal moments in life because they will have them with you, and they're going to watch and how you interact with them, how you choose to make your choices with them, and that will drop into their soul, their deposit, their reservoir of joy. I'm sure they won't get all of it from me, but hopefully a major part of it will come from me being their father, that they'll go, this is what my dad would have done in this kind of situation, or they'll have that foundational to the conscience of joy in itself. So really, from a fatherhood perspective, it comes from inspiration.
Okay. Mike, I want you to check your hearing aid. Check your batteries.
Alma. Check your battery, Alma.
Charge your minutes, Alma.
We had no problem before going live, but we'll come back.
Yo.
So, moving on to just, plainly stated, we all connected. You know how you meet people and you feel like they've been in your life forever. Like, I don't remember meeting Daryl or Tilden. Tilden, we refreshed our memories last weekend about our meeting, but I don't remember meeting you guys. I just know that my life would be really, I don't say incomplete, but it wouldn't be as joyful or wouldn't be as great as it is without you guys being a part of my life. And so, we really are brothers. I think some people, we've had a couple of events in Charlotte. We've had some inspirational events and some parties and some just trying to reach out and show people, not about how to be brothers, but what brotherhood looks and feel like. And so I say all to say that, we never started off with this intent to be a exclusive club. And I want to talk about that a little sec, because some people just feel like the brothers is this exclusive club that you just, you couldn't be a part of. And intimidation.
Well,
We always, things that I heard.
Ryan, it may be exclusive, but not by intent.
But it's not.
I think some relationships cannot be manufactured.
Wearing shades.
I'm out of this conversation. Out.
So, if that is the feeling that someone gets, it definitely was never the intent. I'll say that.
So it never was our intent. It's not our intent. We are just.
So there are things that belong to you: your faith, your friendships, your wife. Things and so not being a part of a friendship circle, no matter if you call it that, a clique, a gang, or whatever, there is a common thread. And if you ain't got that common thread, even if you were there, it wouldn't feel right.
Yeah.
And so, but if wherever you are is where you're supposed to be.
True.
Yeah, you know how that moment at Bridesmaids where she was talking about their connection, and she was like, sometimes we don't have to say anything, we can just give each other a look.
Example when Maurice put on his face.
And notice, I still have not said anything.
He said not nothing. Anything.
Because he know better.
Now,
I have
Michael hasn't said anything. We need to get Michael to talk. He's back with us.
Welcome back. Mikey has moved to a better spot.
Thank you so much. Yeah, something like that.
Thank you.
Oh,
We just glad you're with us, Mike. So how do you feel like your joy shows up as a father to be a father and to be creative in who you are?
I would definitely say that it shows up, like Tilden said earlier, when you're able to be very transparent and your child is there and they can relate to you and hear you, but then you see the return on what you invested in them, the time, the love, the discipline, everything. And sometimes the return that you get isn't always what you expect. Sometimes it's not good. But then you have to take that time to delve back in and with your purpose, and in time you definitely see it, because when you plant a seed, you don't see something, you don't see the sprout just sprout right up. It takes time and cultivation. And I think with that, especially with me and my son, I definitely get joy when he calls me and says, "Dad, you know what? That thing we were talking about, it really does work when you do it this way." Or, I was noticing something with someone else, or an example in life that you had said I didn't experience for myself, but looking at it from a distance, it really does happen that way. And it just, and even when he calls me to say, "Dad, hey, I love you," that in itself, it does more than anything that I've taught him. Just the fact that he called me to think enough to say, "Dad, I don't want anything this time, but I just love you." And it just right. Oh my gosh, man.
Yeah, Mikey, I'm
what
I'm getting that now from Bless. So Bless, my oldest kid, 18, has moved out the house to the job market and go to school. And now our conversations are a little bit different than when he was younger, of course. And in conversation, I was kind of opening up through some personal trials, and I took, kind of giving him an update on some personal trials. And really, the moment that got me was when he charged me back to the words I had spoken to him once before. And he was like, "Well, you had told me when I went through a similar situation that I should do this and this and this. So now I'm going to tell you, you should do this and this and this." And he charged me back to lessons that I had taught him that I didn't really realize he was listening to. So to get that feedback and him to charge me back on words that I was presumptively teaching, that's one of the best feelings ever.
That's powerful, because it's
especially when you know who Bless is.
Yeah, that's why I said that's powerful. You're talking about
right.
And I love Bless, and he's part of one of the reasons why I started Black Boy Joy, because just seeing him grow and to develop to the Bless that we knew that had the afro. Now he wouldn't get his hair cut, and he just was in that little zone. And how you loved him as a father, and to see him smile. And when he moved out, Bless is about to go to college. Someone will put Bless Cash App name at the bottom. Somebody want to bless him or whatever, or bless you. But he just graduated, y'all, and he graduated during a pandemic. So we have to celebrate him for that.
That's awesome.
adamant about, going to college. He's in Charlotte. You've that's some work. You've done some work, and to see this blessed, y'all haven't seen y'all. I don't know, Maurice. I don't know if you've seen your nephew blessed, but to see this blessed, like from the I mean, we saw we saw who he was and his potential, but to just see him as he's growing, even with Deacon, y'all, like. So I'm gonna just tell his backstory. I was privileged to keep the boys for some months, and they were going through this phase of being vegans. And no disrespect to any vegans out there in the world, but they were like real vegans, like
Hardcore.
no, they were like, what are the ingredients in this? And they shifted for Christmas. Deacon was with us, with Mike and I, and was frying a steak. Taught him how to make a steak. And so to see him to shift from being vegan to now back to eating meat, how did you do that?
Really? You gonna put me on blast?
How did you do that?
I don't even know if this is good parenting. I mean, I just got to a point. I was buying sets of grocery. I was trying to feed into kind of their lifestyle. And after doing it for 3.5 years, I woke up one morning and I said, enough says enough. Y'all are vegetarian. Whatever I buy, that's what you'll eat. And the rest is history.
There you go.
All this time.
And enjoy.
That's all you had to do.
The first time. That's all he had to do the first time.
I was trying to be one of the modern family. Parents, Yeah, I gave in. I did it for as long as I could.
Yeah, I always brought that story because it's resonant of your resilience and who you are and just the joy. Like they got a little bit more joy. Like Bless is much nicer now. He
Oh my
a
God.
balanced diet.
yeah. He's eating what?
Trees and plants.
He said, "I'll be happy." He found his
lilies all day. You gotta eat more than dandelion.
Candy.
Goodness.
So
Next question, Ryan. Next question.
Right.
I don't want to just have these questions. I also want to talk about our brotherhood has evolved. Like we were together every weekend to now that we like have we have to plan trips to spend time with each other.
Yeah, plan trips.
Yeah, plan trips.
Plan
FaceTime calls.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody was in Italy this week.
Yeah, I just got back. Okay, I just got back.
Go ahead, Daryl.
We need to talk about that. I'm sure you had to.
No,
fly
we didn't.
over.
We didn't. We didn't talk about that,
Even
and we're not talking about it.
We need to.
Why not? Share with the class.
We're not.
Where
No, we're not. Not on this live. Not tonight.
This line.
Okay.
You think so?
It is okay.
I
We're
think
showing-
so.
we're
And
showing-
then
we're showing the people how to have healthy conversations. And
It's
work-
accountability.
and work with
Accountability.
companies
where
that
we're
we have.
going right now, is not healthy.
It's a toxic past. So
Very
that's
toxic.
a good question for everybody. Like, how do you deal with toxic relationships or toxic?
Ooh, pick me.
Go Maurice.
How do you
Oh God.
not be toxic?
Me. Okay, no. Finish your question.
No, go ahead. We have that brother.
Wait, can
Toxic relationship.
we hear the conversation? Just the question. I'm sorry. Just
Yeah.
I just want to make sure that.
How does your joy? Let me put it like this: how does your Black Boy Joy navigate through toxic relationships or just this toxic culture, just relationships and people? How do you navigate your Black Boy Joy through that? Maurice, go ahead.
I will say, and everybody on this call knows this, I am the cutoff king. I will cut off communication with you. I will walk away. And it's not that I don't. There was a point in my life I didn't like confrontation, ironically. But me walking away was for me to secure my own happiness and to secure my own peace. And most times that was more important than trying to win an argument or trying to get my point across. It was literally just me needing my peace and my sanity, and not just basically rubbing elbows with the next person. And I'm not saying that person wasn't important or that situation wasn't important, but I had to grow into healthy confrontation because I am a true Aquarius. We are very much so black or white. We don't do gray very well. And we love you until you piss us off. And the minute you piss us off, it is really hard to harness that back in from an unhealthy place. So I would rather just walk away and deal with me than to present something to you that's really a false narrative because I'm trying to like hurt you at the time. So that's me personally.
You said what now? My mother. Oh, we're not gonna talk about that.
That's my mother.
Yeah, brother. That was good.
Like I said,
I want to hear how Daryl and Mikey handle it.
So toxic relationships.
Yeah.
So it took me a long time to really be able to, I guess, to overcome or come out or not really engage in that, because not until I really identify my own worth. I think throughout my life, all the trauma that I had gone through as a child really impacted like how I connected with people, in the relationships that I built. And a lot of them early on in my life were extremely toxic. And I stayed in them. To my relationship, like intimate relationships, as well as just like, friendships that I had developed. And not until I really focused on myself and did the work on myself and focused on myself that I realized like this is not for me. Like this is toxic. And and like really release myself from people that weren't contributing to like in my life in any like a positive way. Or so now, because I'm very self-aware and I don't attract it as much anymore. I think during that time I seem to have attracted that to me, but now I don't attract it as much. And when I when it does come into my space in any way, I think people know and they just kind of walk away or whatever, and it's like, oh, he ain't about that. But for the most part, I think that the first piece is like I focused on myself and I did the work, the inner work that I needed to do.
Do your work.
The trauma I had, a lot of trauma in my childhood that impacted a lot of what of things that I kind of engaged in my young 20s, which was only about 2 years ago, but
the lies.
I'm with this. You look good to be 20. How old?
Me, I'm only 25. Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you, Mikey.
Mike, we're gonna move
to show you how to work on those wrinkles and things.
See, why we got to do that tonight?
Listen, we wouldn't be ourselves if we wasn't,
No, we cannot. I know, but we cannot do this in front of everybody.
Okay, all right, we won't do that.
So, Mike, how does yours show? How do you feel like it?
Well, I definitely can say that my Black Boy Joy definitely functions in toxicity, or if that's the word, or I've dealt with toxic relationships through the help of other Black boys, like my brothers here, and realizing that the relationships, friendships, or whatever, it was toxic, and knowing that it was toxic because it began to affect not only my purpose, but it affected my health, my life vital, my very being. And I had to grow to know, to confront it. I had to learn that, just like, because I was like Maurice, I just completely freaking cut you off, and then that's just it. But then there's more to that, just cutting off and walking away, but you're still going to end up dealing with it again. So I had to learn how to confront the issues, not only with the other person, but within myself, and face it. And like Daryl said, do the work. Do what you're supposed to do, and then if there's no reciprocity, you got to remove yourself from the situation. But in removing yourself, handle things the right way, because we all know we can be real slick with our mouths and our actions, and you just don't want that stuff to follow you into your new growth, into your new Black boy joy,
And let's be very clear. And maybe this is turning the tide a little bit. The toxicity sometimes is you.
That's what I was hearing.
Right.
Like,
I learned how to handle toxic situation because I was the toxic one in so many situations. And I kept wondering why I was getting cut off so many times. And I had to come to realize I was the toxic one. I do think you have the opportunity to meet two different Tildens. And a lot of time people may meet one or the other. And, I have learned kind of some areas that I needed to improve in. I'll say it that way. I haven't always been a warm person. I say what I mean, but sometimes I say it at the wrong time and I come across as brash with no care of return of feeling. So those are some of the toxic it was about me, right? I got it off my chest. I was correct. And after I said it, I mean, you deal with it how you deal with it. Well, that's not the fair balance of the world we live in. Other people's feelings do matter.
Right.
And I had to learn how to accept that. I actually had to learn how to accept emotion and feeling, because part of my grind was just to make it happen, and I don't have time for the things that you can't touch. And so you can't touch all these emotions and fears and all these things. So I put them in the background. So I was about work, I was about focus, making my money, you know what I mean? To where, I mean, again, your circle, your safe space, sometimes it takes your circle to kind of tell you, you can be you, but maybe you need to reconsider how you approach things.
Yeah.
So I think it has caused me to be, on the flip side, a little bit tolerable to toxic situations, to kind of figure out where it's coming from. Because a lot of times someone didn't invest that time with me and my toxic ways. So I found myself jumping from one toxic situation to the other because I didn't even know I was being toxic. I just thought, they gave up on the wrong guy. Your loss. You know what I mean? But once you start kind of, back to Daryl's point, owning your part in it, learning yourself, not only do you learn how to not accept toxic situations from others, but you learn not to be the toxic one.
That's right.
So going to what Daryl said about, being self-aware, so what you add, like, Maurice said, for your own health, I will cut you off.
Listen, and if anybody that I've been toxic to, listen, I want to make it to heaven. So if
Oh God.
Okay, I apologize.
Moving on. I
Please.
I want to make it there. I want to make it to that city.
Space where I no longer, you know, we talked about it, you know, Tilden, you even called me out. Coco said repent. You've even called me out, you know, about forgiveness and, you know, the repentance thing. And, you know, I'm just in a whole nother space where I now feel like I don't even, I know that I have some toxic traits. So let me just be very clear. I own my toxic traits a lot more than I used to, and I'm more self-aware of those. But now I'm to a space where I'm focusing on me and being a better me, that I'm not interested in, you know, there are some people that, you know, I've offended and been toxic to and probably may be toxic to again. Not that I'm intentionally doing it. It's just I'm unlearning some new ways to respond to trauma. I think that's the safe way I'll say that. And I think that's where being toxic comes out, is that, you know, when we're hurt, we don't know how to respond to the traumas and the pains that we do. And so sometimes, you know, we respond how we've learned, or what's, you know, what we have seen the entire our lives. And so, you know, having to unlearn those ways that I've put labels on how I communicate is where I'm growing and so forth. And I'll say all this, say that I'm in a space now, I'm not even interested in people's forgiveness or offering forgiveness. And it's not about, you know, before Coco come on and rebuke me, it's not about, you know, biblically sound or anything like that. It's just, you know, I think sometimes we were learned or taught to forgive and forgive, but we weren't taught to accept and receive or acknowledge our pain or our feelings. Or compliments. Yeah, or compliments. We were so
for a second. I didn't know where you were going with that one, but
yeah, you know,
that makes sense.
Yeah, I got you.
Yeah, we're so just initially taught.
We learned that from a young age. You do something wrong, and your mom say, "Now ask her, say you're sorry." You know what I mean? Like it's almost like a forced action, and yet our heart don't believe it. So we keep compounding that situation over and over, and we get used out of habit saying, "I'm sorry." And so forgiveness becomes like a blanket versus truly the moment of where you have acknowledged what you did to hurt somebody and you know how it affected them.
Do you feel like sometimes we can apologize too much?
I hate apologies. Let me just kind of say this. I cannot unsee it. I cannot unsee it. And so I cannot unremember it. Don't apologize. Tell me that you want.
But is apology just acknowledgement?
No. Tell me you didn't want to get caught, but don't apologize. You make a conscious effort to miss the mark. So don't apologize for it. An apology makes me upset because it insults my intelligence. You meant what you said. You meant how you said it. You did not want me to hear it or catch it. And I'm okay with that.
Okay.
But don't apologize for it.
For being, because sometimes where I was going with it, sometimes I feel like we apologize too much for being ourselves. Like, I'm sorry, like
that's exactly what it is. Don't apologize for yourself.
He's speaking from a totally different context, but okay.
How do you feel like are the apologies? Are the sorries, like, how do you guys feel about that? Like, he says he doesn't do them.
I think if it comes from, I mean, and maybe it's just me, all of us on the call are very discerning. We're gonna know real from fake. I didn't mean to say that at that time when Mikey got cut off, so don't nobody say I was being shady. We are very discerning, so we're gonna know the real from the fake. You know a tree by the fruit it bears. Saying I'm sorry and there's nothing behind it, to me, is more offensive than you actually changing your actions. I'd rather you just try to change the action or be authentically nasty. If that's authentically who you are, just be that, for me personally. But if you come to me with this kind of like I'm only saying I'm sorry to dodge the conversation, or I'm only saying I'm sorry to like Tilden said, put a band-aid on it. When some things actually the band-aid needs to be ripped off because maybe it's a bigger conversation and a deeper situation that needs to be addressed. So just that's me.
Yeah.
I don't have an issue with apologizing or say I really don't. Yeah, I honestly don't. And acknowledging if I have to acknowledge what a person, you know, what their perspective could be on a situation. I agree, right? But I can acknowledge that that's where you are. And if in any way I made you feel, you know, because there are times like we do things. And sometimes I don't really think that we're aware sometimes of the things that potentially how we could come off sometimes, you know, so I'm open. I've been very open to that. I don't have an issue with apologizing. Now I'm just not going to just be giving just open apologies, but if it has to be, I definitely am open to giving an apology. Yeah.
Yeah. And I think it's one of those spectrums. It's not a forgiveness is not a one size fit all. So how we receive it and give it will differ. And I think the dynamic of that is just one of the pieces of the puzzle that causes us to develop different type of relationships. That's why we're not all in the same type of relationship. That's why my friendship with Daryl is different than Ryan's friendship with Daryl. Because of how we receive that on that spectrum and how we receive it and give it to a particular person. So I think forgiveness is dynamic, but I think the lessons of forgiveness are just that. They're the foundations of forgiveness. And I do believe that when you have wronged or harmed someone, if it's you should own it.
Yes.
And to Maurice's point, try again and bettering that action. And if someone gives it to you, I think that is a tool for either you to receive it or release it.
Okay. I would ask Mike, but there's Mike.
There he is.
There goes Mike.
Bad. I mean, he's traveling. He's be tired.
I said AOL before, but I think I need to go back to Florida and Tilden will understand. This is GTE.
Yeah.
This internet service is GTE.
It's not net zero.
No, is not used to being on this late at night.
It keeps going on sleep mode.
So I want to bring the conversation back to the brothers and just our moments and being who we are and living in our joy and who we are. What's a moment of your journey that you celebrate by being a brother? What do you celebrate by being yourself?
Give me some more context to that.
By being a brother, what are some moments that you celebrate being a brother, being my brother, or being Tilden's brother, or Daryl's brother? Like, how do you find yourself, not going beyond the return on investment? How does your joy show up being a brother? Put like that.
Go ahead, DT.
Yeah. I think that I know one thing that I could definitely, and I think I've heard in this group Village, right? You've used that word before, correct, Ryan?
Yeah.
Yeah. That I definitely would consider this this group. I have two groups of people, and I always refer to my DC, my Jersey and my Charlotte crew, right?
Right.
And I definitely know that within this group, that regardless of it, we do have our disagreements, and that I can always depend on every person in here. if for any reason I needed some, needed any of you for anything, just a conversation that I could actually depend on, and I could call and talk to either of you, and you guys would give me like really good sound, feedback or or advice as to how to move forward. And that's what I appreciate the most, because a lot of, especially being a Black male, a lot of Black males don't have that. They don't have, like a village of people that they can like really that they can have behind them and to support them and be there for them. Because life is hard, man. It's difficult out here. It's difficult. And to have people, beyond your family, because your family can be there for you for, to an extent. And and I'm very close to my family, and they're there for me to an extent. And I feel like you guys are extensions of my family, and you kind of fill that gap. So I appreciate that.
I think. Go Ryan.
I can agree to the same thing. You guys, several moments or instances where we go back to reflect to the moments of joy, whether it be the day party we did at the rooftop bar, or
You did a day party?
Yeah.
who said you?
I'm sorry.
You don't.
Listen.
Well, to Daryl, you went and adopted the dogs for us. You and Tilden went and picked up dogs.
Oh, them bad.
Tore up the bathroom.
Woo!
to a weekend of the Snowmageddon of Charlotte that time. Being stuck in the house and having to cook,
I mean, it's everything. I mean, from weddings to, being there for each other on when
divorces,
Weddings, divorces,
everything.
Yeah.
My God.
Yeah, I agree. I think the Black Boy Joy for me is the strength being made perfect in weakness.
Mm-hmm.
And this is where I told y'all I'm learning how to be emotional. This is my emotional side.
I'm glad it's recording.
I'm learning.
You need to see this. Go ahead.
Oh, look at that. All them jokes, and look who serviced and went out.
My service ain't out. I had to take a break. Yeah.
Oh, okay. But yeah, for me, it was there's been many moments. But for me, I don't like to show weakness. Because my weakness shows my vulnerable side. And I've been able to show that vulnerable side to this group of brotherhood who have stood in the gap to be just that. So as Ryan alluded to, when I was transitioning from Charlotte to DC, I couldn't immediately take the kids, or I didn't want to immediately take the kids out of school because I moved in the middle of the school year. So being able to entrust what's dear to me, like my kids, to Ryan and Mikey during non-school hours. And then Maurice was a teacher at the school they were at. So Maurice looking after the kids when they were in school are just one of those moments. Another vulnerable moment for me was when I lost my job. And I really lost everything around me. And this group of guys made sure I did not skip a beat. So even though I lost my car, I lost my house, these guys were like, well, listen, you're going to drive my car. And Daryl was like, well, listen, we're going to get rid of the house and you just going to move in, because why would I have moved in with anybody else? You know what I mean? That would have been my vulnerable side. And then to draw some awareness, September is sickle cell awareness. And I definitely have my battle, and I try my best to win every battle that's presented to me with dealing with sickle cell. But I've been face to face with death so many times, and every single time to be able to wake up, sometimes intubated, can't talk, but to have this group of guys knowing they're taking care of me because I can't take care of myself, making literally life decisions on my behalf. That goes beyond a friendship. That's family. And so not only were they there by my side, but this group of guys know how to charge heaven with prayer and to pray on my behalf. So even when I could not utter the words myself, they prayed for me. So those are just a few moments, that for me, it was in my vulnerable times. Look at me saying this without even crying. But it was in my vulnerable time that the brotherhood was made strong and made perfect for me.
Yeah. I second that. Thank you so much for sharing, being mushy like that. In this, ooh, get you some drink. That was a lot. Thank you. I know you can count on each, one of you to do something or be something different. Maurice is gonna fight. Like that's just charges and keep us accountable. Mike is gonna keep us creative and supported and be that balance. Daryl is gonna be Daryl, which is unbothered. Let you stay in your lane. He's the epitome of acceptance to me. He just accepts and loves. And I think each of you love in your different way. I should have asked Mikey the question before he left, but you each love in your different way. How does that show up for you, Daryl? Like our love or your love for one another, the brothers?
How does it show up for me? It definitely, it empowers me, to know that I definitely have a group of people that I know that love me, again, to just kind of go back of what I said, that extends from my family, right? Your family, you would expect, to an extent, you would expect them to be there and to love you in that sense, but to know that I have a group of guys that I've met at a transition time in my life, right? Moving from New Jersey to Charlotte and going through a very interesting situation. And then to have met you guys, that was powerful. And for us to still have that connection, some people, friendships, as people call them, don't even really last that long. But that's why this is a little bit more than just a friendship, right? When we talk about brothers, we really are brothers because we're like really there for each other, and our connection has extended over years, and it's still here. So, I appreciate the love. I embrace the love. It definitely is what helps me on a daily basis. So I appreciate that.
And the moments are so rare. But when you have a moment, it don't even take long. Literally yesterday, there's a gas station next to my house. And I just had a beef jerky craving. So I got up and I walked to the store. And while walking home, this car almost hits me pulling into the gas station. And I'm thinking, oh, that's a nice car. My brother has a car just like that. And of course, Daryl rolls down his window and was like, what? Of all places in the DMV, like it's just random. It can be random.
That's beautiful. Go ahead, Maurice.
I'm sorry. I think for me personally, I think it shows up in a lot of different ways. I don't necessarily open up easily to people. I can be very cold. Like Tilda knows that. He's known me the longest. But I think I'll use Daryl for an example. I may not get to speak to Daryl every day, and most of you all know I'm in the Midwest, so I'm far from these guys. But I remember the day I dropped my single, and Daryl texted me, was like, "I just need you to know, like, I'm so proud of you." And like, it's little things like that mean the absolute world to somebody like me when you're in a place where you don't have family, where you barely have friends, and you're literally, it's you and God, because literally I'm here because of God and God alone. It's moments like that make you appreciate a brotherhood, a village, an accountability system, feedback, something as simple as feedback, correction, rebuke, whatever it is. So I think that's what makes the tenure of this so long lasting, at least for me.
Did y'all notice he almost started crying?
Yeah, because he got there. Just reflecting on those moments, because I remember your concert, your recording you did. Like, we just all showed up. Like, it's funny because Maurice had this list. He gonna keep it a whole structured show, and me and Jordan was just like, well, we're gonna do this. We got this. There was no need to ask us to do it. We just did it. And when it comes to all of us, that's just that space. Whether it be trips, whether it be, Daryl's birthday party or whatever, it's just that we just show up and show out. And I appreciate that. I appreciate how we show up and show out, we don't even talk all the time. This is the first for us to even be on this little FaceTime, because sometimes we'll have these FaceTimes and try to FaceTime each other, and somebody's in school, somebody can't do it, somebody at work, somebody's in Italy,
some of us are booked and busy. I won't say who though.
On a date.
On a date.
So
where's the shades?
Morris asks, "Where's your shades?"
Right. Shades. Thank you. I need it. Shade come from me.
I'll get engaged. I'll get married. I mean, y'all support though. Y'all are wonderful.
You had my support.
Still did.
No, so with that moment, I will say this is kind of the moment that a lot of people see, which is us getting along. But part of us able to have this moment is because of the drag outs we don't have on FaceTime. We have at the dinner table, and we are like dragging each other, like, because we either don't agree with it. Why in the world?
What were you thinking?
What were you thinking? I do not condone this. I don't agree with this. I want you to know it from the bottom of my heart. You were wrong. We have a lot of, let's be clear, we have a lot of those moments which allow us to have this moment and to be able to showcase it.
Yeah, I think people don't, I don't say we do a good job, but we are innately, organically who we are, that we don't need to go through the soliloquy of telling people like, we're putting on this presentation. No, we let each other have it in our drag out. That one time me and Maurice, y'all made us sit at the table like we're kids.
I'm done with it. The same way I did with the kids going vegan for eating. And we don't talk about it tonight.
Right. He just here though.
Shade.
But love, Maurice. Did you disappear? What happened?
I'm not in this conversation. Carry on.
Because as the knee baby, it is my responsibility to be the oldest.
To be the oldest.
I'm with this shade.
It's a shade. So shady.
I mean, if you can't be in a valley with people, there's no use and you trying to fake like you on the mountain all the time.
Yeah,
And I think a lot of us together, and even a lot of us separately, but together, have been in some valley situations. And I think that's what allows us to be able to enjoy mountain seasons. Because honestly, and I'm not saying this to be arrogant, most like everybody on this call in one way or another is in a mountain season, but it's only because we've mastered the valley. And as Tilden said earlier, you know, it's the stuff that you don't, it's the stuff that you don't see. It's the work that you don't see that allows us to be what you see. So, you know, the Bible always talks about, and I'm gonna shut up. The Bible talks about, I hate y'all. The Bible talks about the things, don't focus on the things which are seen, because the things which are seen are temporary, but the things which are unseen are eternal.
Yes.
So the work that we do behind the scenes, that's what makes this eternal.
Yes.
And that's why we can celebrate your apartment in the sky.
Y'all gonna leave me alone.
Come on.
Are these Grammys and nominations? And
You got that little M now because it's about to be showtime.
yeah.
Whatever.
So I see awards coming across Maurice's desk.
Come on. Beverly Lot. Not tomorrow.
Road trip.
Oh,
The
Mikey
many
stuck.
road trips we have taken.
Yes.
Mm.
If Tilden driving, can't nobody go to the bathroom unless we got to get gas.
Yo, Tilden made me and Daryl hold our urine
Because
for
I don't
13 hours.
I do
13 hours straight.
Is that the time when y'all got those tattoos?
huh?
That's those times when y'all went and got those tattoos without us?
Yeah, when we go from Charlotte to Jersey.
Oh,
I know I'm being petty.
And for the most part, did I drive all the way there?
Probably.
you chose to drive all the way there.
Because we wasn't gonna be doing all that stopping and switching drivers and peeing and all that carrying on. No. We got a plan. We gonna get from Charlotte to Jersey and we gonna do it tonight.
Daryl said, "A brother can't even pee." Like,
When the car give out of gas, that's when we will stop and we will get gas and we will pee and we will get snacks. And then
That's the only time Tilden gonna stop. If not, don't talk to Tilden. Listen to this your music.
and it was at the time, it was only Reverend Jackie McCullough. At the time, she got us from Charlotte to Jersey.
It was another trip that we did like that.
we went to Atlanta
Yeah.
for a fashion show.
Yes. Yeah. Oh.
I'll just leave it like that. And we went.
We did.
We was on a reality show.
But wait.
We never saw it, but we was on it.
Oh yeah, we was on Housewives of it.
Love and Hip Hop.
Yeah, that's.
Are we allowed to say that on here?
I don't know.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
The show aired now.
Yeah. I think we was they showed half of our feet.
Yeah, at the Love It when we were at the you remember well there you came with us when we went to that fashion show in Atlanta.
Yeah. But what show y'all talking about?
Love and Hip Hop.
Love and Hip Hop.
Okay. I was there.
Yeah. That's what I was there. Mikey, you remember?
I do clearly,
Oh.
very vividly.
Oh, he's with us.
We were there, you was with us.
Oh,
So listen, guys, as we wrap, I wanna because I don't want this to be
Please rap.
Mikey's bedtime. How can people? I can't. I cannot. How do people stay in contact with you, and what are you doing next in what's going on in your world?
Maurice, you go.
Well, Tilden is wearing my brand so eloquently, I might add. Live on Purpose. I am Mr. Live on Purpose hashtag. My new album is dropping really soon. My single Know You is out right now on all digital platforms. What else do I have going on?
Go get that bag. Go get that bag that you was just showing, that pulling stuff out. No.
So I got, we're gonna have t-shirts dropping. So of course, Live on Purpose t-shirts like the one Tilden has on. We're gonna have Live on Purpose buttons. Amen. We're gonna have Live on Purpose masks that are in the mail somewhere because of y'all president. We're gonna have Live on Purpose hats and shirt and shorts as well. So go to www.mauricedowning.com and all of that will live there.
Okay. And can you just tell us a little bit what Live on Purpose means?
So 15 seconds. Dr. Miles Monroe, the late Dr. Miles Monroe, said that the tragedy of life is not death. The tragedy of life is a life without purpose. And at the end of the day, when I stand before God, I want to make sure that I have lived out my truest purpose and I don't have a gift still resident on the inside of me. I want to use everything he gave me.
Good. Dr. Powell? Dr. Powell. Dr. Powell.
What am I answering?
Yeah, tell us how we can people connect with you and what you're doing and working on.
Yeah, I'm just schooling. No. You can connect with me on Instagram at Music4RL. You can also connect with me on Facebook at Daryl Powell. But I'm currently working on my EDD at North Central University. So a lot of my time is focused between that and work. And I also currently serve at New Bethel Baptist Church in DC, one of the worship leaders there. So if you want to live stream New Bethel Baptist Church to see on a Sunday, you can definitely live stream and connect with us that way.
Look at you. Go ahead.
Somebody got you. Wait a minute. Hold that thought. Somebody got you to not only join a church, but they got you to lead worship at the same church.
Yeah, he is. And it's wonderful. You definitely got to go to a Sunday stream. And
what's the name of the church again?
A little different, but it's good. New Bethel Baptist Church.
Okay, got it.
Yeah.
Do you walk the floor like you used to? You still walk the floor?
Yeah, I don't know if he's gonna do it.
Yeah, it's a little. It's something new for them. They're trying to embrace it. It can only be me.
Tilden, what's happening? This is
I am in the seat of support right now because I am in another season of transition. I don't know what that's gonna look like. But you can still follow me and be nosy. So whatever moves that I make I will cue you in after I've made the move. You can follow me on Facebook at Tilden Lee Artist Copeland. There's only one because my father don't have one. And then you can follow me on Instagram at Keys, TILT Keys, KEYZ. And right now I serve as the senior elder and assistant to the bishop for the church, the Connect and Place Metro here in the DC area. Of course, for obvious reasons, we are not having in-person worship, but you can definitely join us on Sunday at our sister church stream site, the Connect and Place at Greater Salem, where my leader ministers on Sunday. And then you can contact me on my social outlet if you want to know how you can connect with the ministry here at the Connect and Place Metro.
And your book club.
Yeah, it's more like tidbits. So I drop information pieces every now and then. And little nuggets are often referred to as tidbits. But because they come from Tilda, I call them my Tilbits. So every now and then go to a hashtag Tilbits and I'll drop some information on it.
Yeah, some good, loving information. Morris, how do they stay connected to you and what you're doing and you with us?
I am, first of all, I am super honored to be amongst these group of guys, and this energy that is here right now
Yeah.
is like so amazing.
Yeah.
For people who don't see this, they are missing out on the world.
Mm.
And for those who get a chance to see this, they get a better part of the world. So for that, I'm grateful to just be in this space at this moment, and hopefully I can be a guest appearance every now and then, right? But you can find me on Facebook, Morris Singletary, or Positive to Positive. That's POZITIVE, the number 2, positive. And that's the story of me winning, living, and thriving with HIV. Same thing on Instagram, and that's it. Like, I'm going to be everywhere in the South because that's where it's big. So we try to get everybody the other way around. So that's
And you guys, I'm speaking from Major. It's past bedtime.
That's all right.
He's not coming back.
and,
So
and his internet connected.
his internet said it's time to go to bed. It's 9:30. You guys can find him Major Official. His designs. He's a designer extraordinaire. Super creative. He is, when I say our grounder, he's just, you can't have connection without having a grounder, and he is our, the person that kind of grounds us. So follow him, Major Official, on Facebook, Instagram, and support what he does. Buy some of his clothes, support him. I'm just appreciative of you guys, again, your space tonight. Again, I'm here in Atlanta, so I'm celebrating my birthday, and you guys have topped it off. We didn't get to have our toast or shot, but it's cool. I'm glad for you guys that are watching and supporting. Hey, Emil, Coco, y'all, our sister is gonna let her presence know she is here.
Paragraphs.
Coco, Nick, thank you guys so much for supporting and your love and just sharing and the feedbacks and the comments. We just had an amazing time. Congratulations to you, Maurice, again, for the single.
Thank you.
You're winning. Your first day back at school today. You survived it. Did the kids survive?
Jesus. Actually, they actually enjoyed. I think it was just them being back in some sort of educational academic community. So today was actually really dope. I have a picture that I have to send y'all that is going to make y'all die laughing though.
Are you guys virtual or you just showing up?
Yeah, we are 100% virtual for right now until December, and they're going to revisit the order from Uncle Mayor Lori Lightfoot.
With this food, and then just keep moving.
There are some schools in Chicago who are doing a hybrid schedule.
Yeah.
But those schools are kind of like, and I hate to say this, but I don't know how else to say it. They're kind of like our litmus test for the city to see if hybrid is going to work.
Yeah, we're doing that too. We're doing that here. We're doing that as well in Atlanta. We have certain schools on hybrid schedules, and then A and B block schedules for some other schools, depending on.
Yeah. Some. Let's just pray. It's going good so far.
So how is being an educator virtually? I know we just.
I think it depends on. I think it depends on the grade level. I deal with 12th grade primarily, and I will say that the 12th graders said something in particular today. They said this is literally going to teach us how college life really is. So I think having that really broken down structure and the school schedule is really on your own. So we have what we call asynchronous and synchronous sessions. So the kids start with asynchronous work in the top of the day, and literally you can do your work for the whole week if you want. The only thing we require is that you be in your synchronous classes on Zoom with your teachers. So the rest of the time is literally yours. So it's all about how you manage the time. So I think our high school students are really appreciating that leverage to be an adult a little bit. But yeah, it's different on different grade levels though. I know the elementary and middle schools are suffering right now.
Gotcha.
It's challenging. I'm gonna come from just the other end as an administrator.
Yo, there goes our nephew Deacon.
Question: how do you like interactive, Zoom only, or 100% school?
Me or Daryl? Oh, you're talking to Deacon.
Oh, Deacon.
I think I like it more than other kids because I still have like interactions with kids my age at the skate park. but like learning itself, I like Zoom more because I get to go at my own pace.
You get to what?
Go at my own pace.
Yeah.
I think that's the biggest thing we've heard so far is like this slowed down pacing. The kids appreciate, and parents too appreciate a lot more.
I
It
actually
presents so many different opportunities for, like, I feel like this is what I kind of have said, like in my school, we've been behind the ball. Like, honestly, we should have been, you know, like putting these things in place for our kids
A long
well,
time.
you know, before this pandemic happened. Because now we're trying to play catch up and because kids don't know how to navigate through platforms or know how to even use computers in the way that we want them to use the devices. I mean, they know how to go on social media, but when it comes to like when we were in school, Blackboard, being able to like respond on a message board and to upload, the kids have no idea how to do that. So for me, it's been extreme. It's been a challenge. I feel like I'm working much harder than I did showing up in the building. One, trying to support adults who the ages vary and their comfortability with technology varies. You know, some people didn't even check emails, and now it's like, ma'am, you have to cut on your computer and go live with your class. Like, like, how I do that? Oh,
where's the power button?
Right.
Where's the power button? How you plug this in?
It's been a challenge. It's been a challenge, but I hear kids more and more telling me every day like that they appreciate this, and that they definitely feel as though that is preparing them for, like, you know, those 21st century skills that they need to be successful, right?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing, like Daryl said, is being in leadership this year. The kids are not my problem. It's managing adults. And I told my teaching staff, I hate to sound biblical and I hate to sound deep and spiritual, but this year is going to separate the wheat from the tare. Like if you are on it, you are going to thrive this year. If you are organized, you are going to thrive. If you've been doing nothing, it's going to show, and it's already starting to show. So, but yeah. But I'm excited and I'm optimistic to see our kids thrive. I really think we're going to thrive in a way that we have not seen before because, again, we have slowed things down and we are feeding them strong meat as opposed to Gerber foods.
It's not a focus on state testing because all that stuff has been a minute. You know, it's like you really can focus on like teaching. You know, and not having to like teach because you know you have a testing accountability that's going to be over your head, and you know, it's just I appreciate that for this. I appreciate, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, this for that. What was that in Deacon's voice? It was like a frog was in
puberty.
He just walked away.
All that bass. Thank you guys so much. Thank you guys again for sharing your joy, sharing yourself. Thank you guys so again for supporting. We've got people still watching, so we thank you guys again for watching and supporting. Love you guys. We will see you again. I will be back Thursday on another special show. Mikey just put some faces up there. Okay. So you still awake. Thank you guys again, and love you. And I hope you are living and loving your Black Boy Joy. Good night.
Good night.